Okay, so your AC cuts out after like 10 minutes when you've been driving and it's been hot. Then you probably need to fix the gap. This gap. This is what I'm talking about. It's the gap between the clutch plate and the pulley. When it gets too large, the magnet can't pull them together and engage the AC basically. So I'll show you today how to fix this with only these tools. Yeah, this is all you need to fix this. Fix it up in a real bodged up way, but it will get you by a while. Basically, this happens when the clutch is worn down, the gap gets larger, and at one point you will notice it most often when it's warm outside and the car has warmed up because all the metals expand, and then finally the gap is so large that the electromagnet can't pull them together to engage the AC. And that's one, well, you will notice maybe after 10 minutes driving your AC is cold and fine, and then all of a sudden just warm air comes out. And that's what we're going to fix today, and this is just going to be a temporary fix since we're using just zip ties, but it will get you by until you can do the permanent fix with removing the clutch plate and re-shimming the clutch. But let me show you how to get the zip ties in there. So let's start by engaging the clutch manually. So we need to disconnect this little connector here, and the part that goes to the pulley of the AC, you connect to the 12 volt positive on your battery or positive terminal on your car, depending on where the battery is located. But in my case, this is how it looks. So I will disconnect this small connector, and the left part of it, or the small wire, I will run a jumper lead to this positive terminal here on my car. Yeah, you should see that the clutch actually engages and the gap closes in. So do this when the car is cold. This is, yep, me having the cable run here. And when I try it, it clicks, clicks, clicks. That's good when it clicks. Then you can see that the gap is also now closed. So do this when the car is cold, so you actually get the clutch to engage. Otherwise you will need to help it with a, like a broomstick or whatever to push it together once you have engaged the cable. So with the clutch engaged, you can now see that the small gap, yeah, where I'm pointing the zip tie now, has increased, so you can actually get it in there. You might need to use a screwdriver to leverage, but yeah, I only needed a screwdriver for one, and this is the first one here. The other ones I could actually, fiddle in. Yeah, it was tight, but it is possible. So I'm just gonna let you show you one or two or whatever, and I'll speed it up a bit so I'm not wasting all your time here, because it's the same on all three of these round springies. I'll actually show you a picture right now where I'm putting it. So cue that. So here you can see the clutch plate and some zip ties. I'm using high quality zip ties because they can withstand the temperature. And thin, they need to be thin, like half a millimeter preferably. But you place them here around the springs like you see in my image. I hope you understand, but you need to have even spacing as well. That's important, so you don't get a wobbly clutch. Let's continue installing them. Yeah, so here you see I've actually gotten it through, and now it's just a matter of looping it together and tightening it down. And then you do this evenly on all the three springs. I'm calling them these round thingies that you saw on the image. I only needed to place three, but depending on the size of zip ties and maybe the size of the gap and so on, you might need to actually place six of them. Yeah, in my case I only needed three, which is good because it's a bit fiddly. But I'll show you this one here in real time, and then I'm thinking of speeding up the other two, I mean, just so I won't bore you to death. So here's a top-down view of it, and I'm actually trying to disengage and engage the clutch to see if it works. And I mean, it's uneven now, but it's better. So let me go ahead and do the rest. Yes, I'm just fiddling them all in. It is a bit tight, but on this car it actually was quite okay doing this from the top. But as I will show you at the end, it's on some cars it's easier to go in through the wheel well. But I also wanted to show you how to actually do this maybe on the roadside when you can't remove the wheel easily or whatever. So yeah, this is on most cars you can access it from here, but on some cars you're better off doing it from the wheel well. But let's continue here, yeah, and this I'm attaching, is it the last zip tie, I think? Yeah, there we go. They're all there. Now we need to trim the excess. So just get a side cutter or something and cut them. I cut them actually with a bit of, leftover, just like third of an inch or whatever. I don't really know why, but I wanted to give it a bit of, yeah, if the zip ties were to move a bit, they don't, fall off. But you can trim them down tighter, it's no problem. Here you can see the clutch working, yeah. It's okay, I think. It will probably wear down more evenly after some time. Yep, turn it. Just cutting them off. Okay, so here we've actually started the car and everything is fine. So I'll just cut off the voiceover for a bit so you can actually hear the spinning. So yeah, get back to you in a second. So the gap is at least sufficient. I'll measure it to make sure it's above 0.3 millimeters. But it seems to be straight and not wobbling too much. So this is a fix that will get you out of a pinch. This is not a permanent fix, but this is just a quick fix. Yeah, so here you can see an example of going in through the wheel well on another car. It might give you actually easier access depending on your car and your situation, but you can see I've just moved the fender liner a bit, and then you can see the zip ties on this car as well, and how they're placed. Yeah, this is an alternative.